doctor was slightly in front of Perry and did not see that one of the people falling had paused momentarily to fling the rock that one of them carried. High into the air, it flew before plummeting into the path of Perry, ran into it, catching herself in the sickening blow on the forehead. Then Perry was down. The doctor, still believing she was at his side, headed speed for the TARDIS, and he was almost through the doors before he realized that she was missing. He muttered her name and turned to look at her. The people had stopped chasing the doctor, and they simply circled Perry, who simultaneously was semi-conscious on the beach. Perry was about to be brutally stoned to death. In the flash, the doctor had a possible answer. It meant going to the TARDIS and moving it closer to the scene of the assault, so he quickly went back inside, not understanding that he was going to immense danger. While busy, the crystal ball was turning to the doctor, and Morton was about to see everything that's happening in the TARDIS. Lying on her back, Perry was now trying to open her eyes. All that she was to be seeing was a circle of hate-filled faces peering down at her and hands held over her. She noticed that each hand was carrying a rock, all ready to drop onto her. Even though dazed, she knew she was about to experience the cruel fate as her eyes were closed in anticipation. Inside the planetoid ship, Mordaunt laughed uproariously at the two screens. He swiveled his eyes that were viewing simultaneously. On the master screen, he saw a tranquil mob all ready to stone Perry to death, and on the ball, he watched as inside the TARDIS, where the ball's replica was now also entering a section of the wave that was directly on scanning the doctor's brain pattern. Morton's laughter was directed more at the doctor, who, although of Perry and the necessity of rescuing her wiped from his mind an all-consuming hate, pondered who he really hurt. Nobody came to mind, only Perry was in his thoughts, but she knew already she was looked after by the mob. He decided he would set the TARDIS on course for another world where he could vent his anger on more people. Mordaunt, having seen enough, shifted forward to his seat to lift the power on the hate ray enough to make those on the beach actually drop the rocks they held, thereby ensuring that Perry died under their weight. Before he could do so, a piercing alarm started to ring out. This could only mean one thing. Somebody was entering his ship. Mordaunt, then having to let go of the firing button on the panel, he dived backwards in his chair to press a button on the cabin wall. A tiny metal portal immediately slid open in the wall, and Mordaunt dived into it straight into that porthole, the swirly thing that was entering straight to his planetoid. Once inside, he put his finger on the button that would, if need to be, instantly close the shutter behind him, and popped his head out of the hole to see what that had caused the alarm to ring. The whirlwind finally stopped, and Mort saw who stood there with his eyes closed and arms folded. It was Esquivel. Perry waited with her eyes tightly closed for as long as she could bear the tension. Then nothing happened. She reopened them and was amazed at what she saw. The rocks fell in the sand harmlessly, and around her, as the people dropped them, their faces were now back to normal. Kylie, demeanor were totally bewildered. Muttered with apologies, a tranquilly named Lopez, staying behind, giving Perry his hand, helping her stand up. Are you alright? She replied angrily, while brushing away the sand from the back of her thighs and miniskirt. Oh, sure. Great. The most natural thing in the world. The locals wanting to turn me into a rock garden, not to mention a crack on the skull. Who wouldn't be alright with the face of such a welcome? He replied in a voice that was full of apology. When it happens, we can't help ourselves. We have no control over what we do at all when it hits us. It? The question demanding the explanation, and he did his best to give what little information he had. A desire to hurt, to kill, even. It comes over spasmodically, and when it comes, nobody is safe from its power. The strange thing is, this is the first time this has happened during a safe period. Parrot thought to herself, if this is safe, how tough is dangerous? How do you mean? Well, safe period. The hours that it happens, it has been shared by our scientists and provided with chained safety inside our homes during these times. No harm comes to anybody. Pearl was aghast at the thought. You chain yourselves in your homes? Yes. During these times of madness, we chain ourselves. Perry complied at the thought before making her reply. This could turn out to be the most strangest holiday I ever had. During the conversation between Perry and Lucas, Warren spoke uncivilly to Escobar. How many times do I have to tell you? Carry on the chance, but I gave him a full table to eat. My hearts are not what they used to be. While speaking, Mordred had climbed out of the porthole, pressed the hidden button on it to close, and climbed up to the porch himself once more to sit in front of the control panel. There was an urgency in Escobar's voice. They have disk. There was no time. Our planet is in danger. The scientists have isolated the heat wave. I believe they know how to neutralize it. Mornant swung around in his chair to face him. What? They have disk. I heard you for the first time. That cannot be allowed to happen! You hear me? That cannot be allowed! Mordant then slid from his seat and went to glower upwards at Escobar, who towered above him. Go back immediately. You must destroy their equipment. That'll slow them down long enough for me to put my any plan into action. New plan? Yes, there is a visitor on your planet. He pointed his hand at the ball, where at that moment the doctor was juggling with the controls, setting them ready for his flight. He, I feel, will do very nicely to stop the necessary war between the Amelions and the Triquetans. And the whole first family will be destroyed as promised. Even Abatan and the whole universe, including the good doctor who knows that the word of a Salakin trader is his bond. Go now. You have work to do. Once Christ dropped Esquivel. Wait, take this with you. Warren gave Esquivel a ring, a hypno ring, and tried to test it out. And Esquivel did as directed. Like that,